the next. Yeah, because I was going to say. So rolling into topic 2, notable absence from your gaming history. Your favorite game, which is
Tetris.
Tetris. Let's dive into some Tetris.
Oh man,
where did Tetris come into your life?
So like video games, Tetris came into my life as a blight to my existence.
Okay.
So I actually hated Tetris when I was a kid. I didn't like it because I didn't see the point to it. I didn't get the arcade fashion to it. And so I just never got it. However, what happened though, I was a little bit older. I had a smartphone and I downloaded Tetris, and that's when it clicked. Like that's when it just like all clicked for me. So I'm like 18 years old.
The smartphone version of Tetris is what got you into Tetris?
No, what got me into Tetris actually was Tetris on the computer.
Okay. Well, that's
Sorry.
better.
I'm jumping ahead of myself.
That's a little better. Because I'm like, Tetris on a phone, that's like the worst way to play Tetris. I know it's probably the way that like millions of people have played Tetris, but I'm like, it's not a touchscreen game.
I brought it up because that's how I play Tetris now. I play it on my smartphone. But here's the thing. Tetris,
I'm still going to judge you. It's fine.
That's fine. I need to explain. Tetris to me is cathartic on a level like beyond anything else. Because for me, Tetris is a never-ending loop of just playing this game. It's pure gameplay. That's all Tetris is. It's gameplay. Absolutely. Which is when I was younger, I didn't appreciate it. But when I was around...
They're going to create a 3-movie story out of Tetris.
Good God, why?
I don't know, because movies...
Battleship was a thing. We knew Battleship was a thing, and it didn't go well. Yeah. Why don't people listen to us?
But Battleship did fine money-wise.
Like, that's because it had Liam Neeson in it.
It's not a critically good game or good movie, but it's like just like Tetris won't be probably. Just like
you think Pixels would have taught? Yeah, you would have thought Pixels would have taught them.
Pixels probably made easily its money back because it was a cheap movie.
Yeah. Well, all right. So let me break down my love of Tetris, starting from my hate of Tetris.
Sounds good.
My hate of Tetris came from the fact that I didn't get it as a kid, because I was in the Mario mindset, the kind of mindset of platformers, adventure, playing a game where you put together drop down puzzles didn't mean anything to me, and so I dismissed it. Here's my problem. My mom liked Tetris, but she was super into Dr. Mario. Mm-hmm. So we had on our old computer, Windows 95 machine, we had this disc that basically gave you access to a bajillion games that were old PC games. And one of them was Dr. Mario. What I can only assume is actually a ripoff of Dr. Mario.
Yeah, it's a weird one to think about.
But my mom used to play it all the time. And I started watching her play that, and then I started playing it a little bit. And it was the only game my mom liked doing, because she liked doing the pill hopping. Mm-hmm. The pill hopping mechanic is actually really cool. If anybody who's never played Dr. Mario, it works a little bit like Tetris, where you have to match colors, but each pill is split in half with different colors. And so, but you can choose to flip the pills around. And that mechanic seemed really cool to me, and that made that click for me. So I started playing that a little bit. And it wasn't until I found out about Tetris Attack on the PC, online, that I started playing it. And I just started playing it for hours. Eventually I got tired of it, and I stopped playing it for a while. But I picked it up on mobile. I'm 18 years old. I need something on my mobile device. And I still have the app, even though it doesn't work on my smartphone now. I refuse to delete the app because...
That's right. I remember we talked about that a little bit when you and I were talking during Knotty Gamer stuff.
Mm-hmm. Give me 1 second here, because I'm going to pull it up in my app selection, even though it doesn't work. There is a game called Tetris right here. I'm actually not going to show that because it has... I have Tinder on there as well.
Oh. And you telling us that you've got Tinder on it completely negates the fact that you're not showing us that you've got Tinder on it.
It's also because I have people messaging me, and I don't want to pull their stuff up.
Yeah, I couldn't tell a thing from your screen anyway, so I imagine.
Oh, you couldn't tell it from like the glare that's just everywhere on it.
No, I can see myself in your phone.
Anyway, but I have like this old app on it that originally came from like, I'm talking. I had the first Android phone. I had the not the Droid phone, but the one that came before it, the My Touch from T-Mobile.
Okay.
It had like a little white spinning ball at the bottom of it that you used to navigate on it, almost like an old Windows phone.
Mm-hmm.
Not like the Windows 7 or Windows 8 phones that they came out with from Nokia, but like the old Windows phone. Or like on a BlackBerry. That's probably what more people are familiar with, BlackBerries.
Yeah.
So the little ball on it, and I would just play I got Tetris on it, and it was like $199. No, it was like $499. I was like, this is incredibly expensive, but I want Tetris. And I played just hours upon hours upon hours of Tetris, and that was just my game. That's what I played. If I'm bored, I play Tetris. If I am waiting for something or I am waiting for somebody, I'm playing Tetris. I played just Tetris and Tetris over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And it just became my go-to game, and it made me realize that, if you asked me like what are some of my favorite games, I would tell you like some obscure ones are like Radiata Stories on PS2. I tell you like the Dot Hack games. I tell you Harvest Moon Back to Nature. I'd say Final Fantasy IX is one of my favorite games of all time.
Solid choice.
I mean, we're talking like going through this entire spectrum. Halo Reach, even though it's a Halo game, is one of my favorite games of all time. Just story-wise, Halo Reach is phenomenal. Not to mention like the gameplay, DMR, the introduction of the sprint ability as a armor ability, not just something that everybody has. Just really cool stuff about Halo Reach. But if you were to ask me like what is my favorite game of all time, it's going to be Tetris, because Tetris isn't just a game that I played for the story or for a period of time until I beat it. Tetris goes on forever.
Mm-hmm.
Tetris isn't so much as it's my favorite game that I play. It's one of my favorite parts of my life. Tetris has integrated itself as part of my life. I cannot imagine not having Tetris on a phone, which is why when my Tetris app wasn't working, I immediately found the new Tetris app and downloaded it. Even though I had to leave all my old high scores behind, even though I had to leave everything behind, learn the new system, it's not as good. Hate to break it to everybody. Tetris Ultimate on mobile devices, not nearly as good as Tetris on prior mobile devices. My gosh, EA just should have stuck with the old formula. Anyway, although I do enjoy that it can go on forever and not just stop at level 15. I do appreciate it.
Is it EA or is it Ubisoft now?
I think it's Ubisoft now.
I know, like, I'm pretty sure the console ones that have notoriously been like super slow and crappy online, if you got like a lot of friends that like Greg and Colin over Kind of Funny will rail on about, is like that was the issue, was that Ubisoft like tried to talk them through it, and I was like, oh no, it just sucks because it's pinging the leaderboards.
Yeah, no. So what the problem is those are EA, the EA ones. I'm pretty sure it's EA. I'm pretty sure it's EA because I believe EA has had the Tetris license. Let me double check here. The Tetris license has been owned by EA for the last. Oh, that's not what I needed. Tetris. Gosh, the first option is Tetris movie, and no. All right, let me take a look here.
Riveting as we both try and fact check this on the fly. Tetris. Okay, Tetris Blitz is EA. So maybe it's like, but I could swear that the version on consoles is Ubisoft. Well, whatever the case. The console ones have notoriously been like a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I think the only place that's ever been super successful, like normally, is on. EA put out its first Tetris in 2006.
Yeah. Okay. Oh wait, no, yeah, I've got a Ubisoft logo on the like Tetris Ultimate, so that's weird. Like, I guess they've got the license split out to everybody.
I guess that's kind of weird. Okay, so yes, this one that I'm looking at right now, the Tetris from Electronic Arts, EA's Tetris for EA Mobile, that one is great. And then the new one I have also on phone is also from EA. So they did it right the first time. They didn't get it right this time. With this one, I think is just called Tetris Ultimate, I think.
You tried to add some new features in.
Oh, no, it's just Tetris. It's still just called Tetris. It's just not... I like the unlimited feel of it, and it's like I'm still trying to break level 20, which is great because it's a lot of fun. It's challenging. But at the end of the day, like whenever I mess up at Tetris, it's not because the game's bad. It's because I messed up.
Yeah. Do you have the issue that I always run into, and I feel like it's a common horror story, where if you're playing Tetris for a while, you just like play through it, like it continues playing when you're trying to sleep, or like you've got your eyes closed and like the blocks just keep falling?
I solved the audio problem by not having it on. Like I have audio off, but that's also because that way I can like play it wherever I am and it doesn't bother people.
Yeah. I'm not even talking like do 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 do. I'm talking like I will if I go through a bout where I play a lot of Tetris, I will, when I'm trying to sleep at night, like just see Tetris blocks falling in my mind's eye, like, and I can't sleep because
I've been through that. Yeah,
my mind continues to play Tetris even though like it's just making up a Tetris game in my head.
Yeah, no, like I have been through that, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
I overcame that. I still play Tetris all the time.
There you go.
Like that is now, if that happens, it happens in my subconscious. I don't deal with that mentally at the forefront anymore. That's all taken care of in the back.
That's just one of the, like, there are certain games or certain game types where they will just stick with me when I'm trying to like unwind and shut my head down, and Tetris is one of them. Where if I play Tetris, if I go through a flurry where I'm playing Tetris, it will stick with me. Other, like if I'm diving into shooters, a lot of times I will just see like that, like the kind of movement, not the HUD, just like that experience when, like, in a shooter where you're running and so you kind of bob a little bit, like your view bobs a little bit, that just stays with me. And so I'll be lying in bed and I'll have that sensation of just bobbing in whatever I'm doing. And it's like surreal and weird. But that's like, those are some of the gaming things that will stay with me as I'm trying to like go to sleep.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't have that issue.
That's fortunate. That's because it's a weird sensation.
I can understand.
I envy you a little bit.
No, I play Tetris all the time. Tetris is a part of my life. Like, it has gone beyond just being a game. That's why it's my favorite game of all time, because it's a part of life and it keeps going just like life does. Did I mess up? Did I blow this game of Tetris? Cool. I'll start from the beginning. Mm-hmm. Let's go.
All right. Are there? So you play it predominantly on your phone. That's probably your favorite version of the game. Is it?
No, like, my favorite version of the game is either like emulated version of the original NES Tetris.
Okay.
The original Game Boy Tetris, I'm also a big fan of. Those are basically the same, but NES has the notorious like 8-bit soundtrack.
Yeah.
That whole thing is just awesome to listen to. However, Tetris Attack on the PC, I think is probably the best version, just because you can change the settings and speeds and everything like that. You can just do different things. Mm-hmm. Also on mobile, the biggest problem I have is that I don't control very well the way, like, which direction it flips. So it's just rotating continuously for me, which means that I want it to do a T-spin with a T-bar, but I can't, because if I try to do it this way, it will think that I still want to go this way when I want it to go this way to kind of slide it in.
Yeah.
I run into problems like that all the time. It screws with me and it ruins my games.
That's that's why when you say like that the mobile version is like what got you into it a little bit, that's why I balk. I'm like, but there's no good way that it controls on mobile.
No, it controls like a hot piece of garbage, but it also can go with me anywhere.
Yeah.
I can play it anywhere, and I don't have, once you get used to it, you don't have as many problems, but it's like those one brief moments where you need it, this like just this piece to slide in just right, and it won't do it for you because you screw it up because you're on a mobile device.
Yeah.
But the best one is definitely going to either be for the big. My brother-in-law has it. He has it. He still has his original Game Boy. It still works, and it still plays Tetris. And he has that, and that is fun. And then on the flip side, NES. Anytime you can play the original NES version, it's phenomenal. It's just out of this world great. And then some variations. Tetris Attack on the PC. You can just find it at websites. They just have it as a flash game, basically. And on the other side of things is Dr. Mario. Anything Dr. Mario, bootleg, regular, whatever it might be, cheap knockoff. The pill flipping effect is just because that's what hooked it for me. Was I finally got like, oh, you rotate them around and you make them match up and then they drop, and that's the point. So,
do you so like in some of the newer Tetrises, because I haven't played many of the like outside of Nintendo era, Game Boy era, like I occasionally would go back to those games, but I don't think I've really played any of the new, more wild and crazy iterations with like online play and stuff like that. Do you do any of that
No.
kind of like, I mean, like even on the mobile version though, like, are you chasing high scores? Are you chasing your own high score? Are you out there chasing a leaderboard?
The only person on the mobile leaderboard is Kaylee Woomer, and I use her as a benchmark to know that I'm not sucking in that game.
Well, there you go.
So if I can beat her, then that means I'm in the clear. More people should just like get Tetris for the mobile device. Do as best as you can, just so that I have benchmarks that I can overcome.
There you go.
I prefer that.
You should play at a PSX. You and Zyger should have like a sit down, because he spends a lot of time with some Tetris. So it'd be an interesting battle.
He'll probably kick my ass.
Possibly. I mean, if
I've
as
never
bad
played
as you say you are at video games, possibly. But yeah, maybe.
I'd love to play. I love Tetris. Tetris is my favorite game of all time. What's funny is the first time I've ever actually been asked what's my favorite game of all time, the first time I've ever been asked that was at Kind of Funny Live 1, and it was by Nikki from Lipstick Nerds.
Okay.
I'm having brunch with her fiance, and baby daddy G.
Yeah.
Guillermo, and Nate Nate from Arizona as well.
Yep.
Who is going to PSX.
Yeah.
So super excited about that. But we were having
was this at the brunch at that little hole in the wall place that they like squeezed
we shut down?
Into? Yeah.
Where they only had like 5 people to run the entire place.
Yeah, they were not anticipating a group of 40 people rolling up.
Nope.
On a Saturday morning there.
But Nikki just asked me, she's like, what's your favorite game? And I was like, and the first thing that came to my mind was Tetris. And I was like, how do I tell like some hardcore gamer people that my favorite game is like the go-to bullshit answer for casual gamers?
It's a solid answer though. It's like Tetris.
That's what I thought at the time.
Has stood. I mean, that's we were talking about it a little bit. I looked up. I would venture a guess that is probably the most sold game of all time is Tetris. Across all of its iterations.
Yeah.
I found a number of like 125 million copies sold from like 2009. So that's not counting half of your mobile ports and stuff these days. So I mean, it has stood the test of time for a reason, and it is that gameplay hook that you were going on about.
It's just perfect. It's like I just want to talk about the gameplay hook for a second. Yeah. It is literally perfect. There is nothing more perfect than anybody can, and this is the ultimate expression of anybody can pick it up, but it's difficult to master. Because right when you think you have everything down, you fuck up. The game doesn't fuck up. You fuck up. And it's just like that human error moment that just makes your entire thing just like, I would say crash down, but that'd be good in Tetris. So instead it builds up over the screen. Yeah,
I'll give you that it's definitely, there's a human error component, but it could also be like just the randomness of that game and the blocks that you're getting in it. So it is like, it is just kind of, it can be pure chaos as well.
Oh, it can. But in those moments when you're at that top point and you see what you have coming up next, and you just know you have to work some magic, and it's like, oh, the challenge is there, like it's in my hand. Sometimes I let it like build up crazy just so I can give myself a challenge.
Yeah.
And it's just so like there's so many things you can do. Then there's like the original mobile Tetris that I really love had a special mode where you could use like different tools to make things a little bit more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would like take a full thing and then shrink it. And you compress it into a smaller, like it basically cut off blocks. So you'd have to maneuver smaller blocks, and it's just fun. The challenge mode in the new Tetris Mobile, like it looks like it'd be really fun, but they don't let you get into it. And I'm still in the tutorial, and I'm just like, no, I'm done. I know how to play Tetris. Let me play the game, please.
Okay.
But they want to take my hand and like walk me through it, and I'm like, I'm not about that.
Yeah. Do you do do you go out there and see like awesome games done quick and see like crazy skilled like YouTube videos of amazing Tetris players?
Yes, and that's why I know I'm a hot piece of garbage.
You're a hot piece of just in terms of like their skill level versus your skill level. Yeah. I mean, they're like, it's insane. Like some of the things I see out there, I'm like, how is any of that possible? Like you're already dropping 3 blocks down by the time I saw the first one or something like that. Mm-hmm. That's it. Like, yeah, some of that stuff just is incredibly impressive. Yeah.
The big leap between me and somebody who's probably good at this game is that I don't drop usually. I let it sift down and I like rotate it and I figure out what I want to do with it. Mm-hmm. I take my time when I play Tetris, which is why in Tetris Attack I got my ass handed to me all the time.
But how does that? I mean, so in something like that, So are you like really good and really feel comfortable in like early game of Tetris, but then as it starts speeding up, you get overwhelmed, or? No,
I actually prefer it when it starts to overwhelm me. Okay. It's a weird thing. I have crazy, terrible anxiety, but when I play Tetris and the anxiety heats up, like I get really anxious about it. I get really into it, which is really unlike me. Normally when I have high anxiety about something, I avoid it at all costs, but just something about Tetris, like towards that end game when it's just like when I'm at that tippity top and it's just like, I can do this. I can make this I can make some magic happen here. And I just am able to do it and it drops low. And I like when you're up at that tippity top and then you're able to drop it down to the very bottom, you feel like a brilliant Tetris god. And those are the moments like I have never gotten that playing any other game.
Yeah.
That sense of triumph, only to lose it 5 minutes later because I'm slipping up and messing up.
Mm-hmm. And I don't even have like a barometer for this, but how long do you think you would say your average game is in a game of Tetris?
That's tough because when I play it mobily, I do break it up.
If you're playing, you might just be like, oh well, I've got to go hop on the light rail now, and so I'm gonna turn it off, and then so that game's just done, or is it that kind of thing?
No, it pauses it and then you jump back into it.
Oh, okay.
It can go anywhere from averagely, I'd probably say I get to about 30 minutes to an hour, somewhere within that range. And I've never timed myself, so I don't know. Okay. I know that in the original Tetris game, like for mobile devices, I could beat a 15 level game of Tetris within 10 to 15 minutes. So maybe it wouldn't take me that long now that I think about it. I don't know. I've never thought about that. Okay. That's why I'm like way overestimating. I think I probably last my games usually around 15 to 20 minutes.
I mean, yeah, I always think of like, because I think of it in the song where I'm like, I just think of the song speeding up, and so
no, that would drive me crazy. I'd play it with the sound off, probably for that reason alone. I should keep it off.
So those are my memories from the Nintendo and the Game Boy era versions of the game. So I feel like I would be like out in like 5 minutes. Probably because it's like it starts out fine and calm and peaceful, and then if I'm having like a particularly good run, I might last like 10-15 minutes, but I feel like it was probably much more like, I get overwhelmed pretty quickly as just it speeds up so much quicker.
I used to, but no, now it's just there's something sincere, like serene and cathartic about it that I don't have that problem.
There you go.
I get lost in the blocks. That's what I do. I get lost in the blocks.
Excellent. Any final thoughts on Tetris before we dive in to the next topic?
Yeah, none. I think I laid it all out there. I think.
Yeah, that's solid. A solid entry into the Trove Talk favorite video games, Tetris. Specifically Tetris on mobile, because you're weird.
I'm sorry, that's where I play it the most. But my favorite version of it is probably either on Game Boy or NES, because those are just the classics.
Yeah, I'm just giving you crap.
Yeah.
It's all
Tetris
good.
Attack. I love Tetris Attack, but I suck at it because people kick my ass.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the, like, I don't think I've even played Tetrises where you're, like, when you get a Tetris or something, it throws blocks onto your opponent's, like I don't think I've played multiplayer Tetris, really.
It's misery.
In my experience. Because it'd be an interesting one for me to try and attempt in this day and age.
Although I will say Colin and Greg playing it is fantastic.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Because Greg beats Colin and Colin doesn't understand how.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Good times. All right.